Hello and welcome to the Dragons Are Real podcast and YouTube channel. This is going to be a new mini-series where every Wednesday I'm going to look at Kickstarters. It'll be all new Kickstarters in the last 6 or 7 days, and then I will look at all Kickstarters that are finishing in the next 7 days. So anything in between those two then I won't be looking at, and it won't be based on popularity or anything like that. I'm just going to cover what I think may be of interest to people out there. So check in, and if you like this series then maybe we'll extend it. So we'll start off with Savage Worlds licensed product. This is Tales from the Trail, and this is for the After supplement for Savage Worlds, and it's a compendium of adventures for the After RPG. If you're not familiar with the After, it's a setting of savage frontier western action set in a sci-fi post-apocalyptic world. It can be best described as the Revenant of Jeremiah Johnson meets Annihilation of the Quiet Place. The book for this is going to be a minimum of 50 pages, which is more with stretch goals, featuring full colour, detailed and provocative artwork by John Gibbons, and I do like some of John Gibbons' art. There's some example of some adventures: Death in the Depths, The Right Hand or Nothing, The Trials of Ascension, and this starts out at £8 for the PDF, and then you can build up on that. Next up is a Bug's Guide to the Shimmer. This is nice and cheap, it's only $1, and basically this is an adaptation of the Shimmer, which was a zine created for Zine Quest 3 using the 3-die-6 RPG system, and basically he's converted this to Troika, ready for Troika Fest. And the Shimmer is a world underneath our own with strange bugs and creatures. There's lots of nice purple and green artwork, and since a lot of the work's been done for his 3-die-6 system, this will be a good one. So it is, if you want a pod guide, print on demand guide for this, it's £4, otherwise it's just $1. Next up is Robin Hoodies and the Sheriff's Henchman. This is some nice 28mm hand sculpted white metal fantasy miniatures inspired by the legends of Robin Hood with a gender twist. So it looks as if all the miniatures are females. So that's nice. The rewards, you can get a pack of 4 minis for £6, 26 minis for £35, Sharon's Henchman, which is 20 minis for £28. If you want all of them, that's all 46 minis, it's £60. So that's a nice little bit of change there. Next up is from GameStart. This is a new one. This is 140 high quality miniatures, all in 30mm with unique features. And this is the interactive bit, is you can keep track of hit points, status, spells and more on your figures. And basically you have a ring that fits around the miniature base, and to these you can stick the translucent plastic tokens on them, from skulls to blood spots to walls of flame. So that's all very unique. A bit different for me. When I saw interactive miniatures, I must admit I thought it was something to do with an app, but no, it's just that you can plug these tokens onto the miniatures, and the base box starts at £70. Next up in the new section is Vulcarius RPG, which are hand-drawn map making elements, which are customizable art elements which you can use in things like a dungeon draft, and these are for designing with a tavern. And the assets that you get for this are 150 plus individual files to build your own inns, taverns or cottages. And this one is £4 for the digital download, and then if you want sticker packs and extras, then it builds up on that. Next up is the Gates of the Shadow Mage from the Eldritch Press, and this is an adventure for the 5th edition D&D. It's in print, PDF, or Fantasy Grounds virtual tabletop. And basically, you've got a number of adventures here. You've got an adventure here for which is open-ended, numerous ways to approach it. 3 digital map levels, 12 stunning images, 9 new warlock spells, 7 new monsters, 5 new magic items, and over 25 original character tokens for use in Fantasy Grounds or your VTT of choice. And it's $8 for PDF, and if you want the print version, then you pay the print and ship costs. Next up on the news section is Death in Space, which is a rules-light tabletop role-playing game in a gritty science fiction setting. Engage in power struggles and build your crew's reputation. Salvage and steal to survive an endless and ruthless universe. So this is a grimy blue-collar future of a universe. The system it has its roots in the OSR scene and follows similar design principles, and is inspired by a number of films and like 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Fistful of Dollars, Alien, and games that have inspired it, games like Into the Yard, Coriolis, Mothership, Morkborg, and many more. And this one starts at £9 for the PDF and £24 if you want the print copy. Next up in the Ending Soon section, we have got Hexagram number 7, an old school RPG for the fantasy trip. So if you like the fantasy trip by Steve Jackson Games, then this is a retro style collection of articles to go with that, and this is number 7. I'm not aware of the other 6, but if you are into this sort of I'm sure you already know about it, and it's £6 for the print and PDF version. Also ending school soon, and it's also new as well, I think, is Here Be Dragons, which is unique dragons for your D&D game. Now, some of these appear on both lists because they are short quick starters, so if they're only 14-day projects, that they appear on both the Ending Soon and new Kickstarters, but I'll only include them on the one. So meet Synthrax the Soul Hoarder, Bescamus the Unscaled, and a few others. 5 unique dragons ranging from CR challenge rating 9 to a mighty challenge rating 27, and a collection of draconic rules for your 5e game. It's a 28-page softcover book, and this one is £10 for the PDF or £20 for the softcover. And the last one in the Ending Soon section is Lasting Tales, a fantasy miniatures games, and I've got to admit and hold my hands up, yeah, I'm backing this one. This is a number of fantasy minis and a mini game by Mark Latham, and these minis are absolutely tremendous looking and very cheap as well. And the game is by Mark Latham, who did the Walking Dead All Out War and the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms. You can already get the PDF if you're a backer to this, and it looks a nice co-op type skirmish game for the tabletop. But the thing we're here for is the minis. Oh yeah, there's tons of minis. This is Fantasy Set 2, and there are absolutely a ton of minis. It covers goblin archers, kobolds, orcs, wraiths, wormlings, etc, etc. But as you back this Kickstarter, you can also gain access to the original first Kickstarter, which had many more, and it's 109 USD for the current version with the with the book, or it's $225 if you want the Series 2 and Series 1 miniature sets with the game, which is about £164. So yes, I've gone all in that one. It's I think it's somewhere in the region of, oh, I don't know, 400 miniatures for £160 or something like that. I think Series 2 has got like 180 miniatures and Series 1 has got over 200. So that is what I'm backing. So that's the Kickstarters that are ending soon. And now we're going to look at the new Kickstarters. So to start off the newly released Kickstarters, we're going to start with Stormweavers. This is a story-driven solo tabletop game. As a dwarven warrior, you undertake a journey across the icy north of Midgard to find and rescue your friends. So if you like solo games, then this one might be right up your alley. There's some nice pictures of minis and some maps on there. Looks really nice, with some play sheets. And this one is £18 for the PDF or £34 for the print version. And you get a book, some adventure sheets, 9 combat maps, 30 cardboard minis, 2 dice, a pencil. So that is very nice. Next up new is Tavern Tales, a 5e D&D supplement book. This is a circus-themed tavern-packed adventures, NPCs, items, and more to be placed in your new or existing D&D 5e campaign. And the book for this one, this is £15 for the PDF, the digital map pack of the Tavern Adventure maps, and it is £33 for the hardcover. So you also get the adventure and you get some digital assets as well, maps with and without grid. So that's that one. Next up we have the Map Alchemist HD Outdoor Battle Maps with stunning 3D views. This is 22 high definition outdoor battle maps for all fantasy RPG campaigns, plus gorgeous 3D views you can share with your friends. And they've got some example maps on the page here, and you've got an overhead battle map which has no grid, and then you've got a side view where you can actually, if you're doing theatre of the mind, it's nice and evocative, and the artwork is really nice with this one. It's £11 for the digital version, which is the 22 battle maps, but if you want the props art pack, that's an extra $7 US, and it's extra if you want the 3D maps, unless you go for the higher award. Next up we have got Ruins of Symborium for 5e. Yes, that's right, the Symborium game from Cubicle 7, no, Free League, that's it, Free League, has been converted for 5e. So if you want to play this setting and 5e, this is what this is about. And the setting is a civilization that two decades ago were forced to flee their ancestral soul of a devastating war. So if you're familiar with the setting but you didn't want to play the Free League system, then, well, you can do so now in 5e. This one is £22 for the PDF version, or if you want it in print, it is 60 quid, I think that is. Next up we've got some D&D condition rings. These are little rings that you can put around your miniatures, and it's things like poisoned, petrified, frightened, charmed. Bit extravagant, I know, but it's a little bit different. And these start off for a full set for £22, which is 4 of each of the conditions, plus some white rings to place around your minis, which is fine if you've got standard minis. Next up, we have got Rangers of the Midden Vale, an OSR-inspired role-playing game about braving the wilderness to defend the innocent. This is an RPG where you and a group of friends take on the role of rangers braving the wilderness, inspired by games such as Ben Milton's Knave and Vincent Baker's Dogs in the Vineyard. This one is £4 for the PDF and £8 for the PDF and physical. Next up, if you like some metal coins, fantasy metal coins, then True Black Forge has got some fantasy solid metal coins for D&D and other RPGs are available. And these are a number of proper hand-polished solid brass and iron coins from the fictional land of Dalmir. And for this, the 55 coins and 8 gems in each bag, of which 10 silver bullheads, 20 silver sails, 15 golden bastions, 10 golden thrones, and 8 Terusian gems. Now, obviously, they're not going to be cheap because they're metal and gems, but they start at £44 for a single pack. Then we have Cities of Myth, Atlantis Divided. This is a 5th edition compatible inclusive mythological setting with eldritch gods, magitech, and ancestor worship. So this is a bit of a different setting, and it's thousands of years of the city was rent into a different plane, which is Atlantis, and the political and cultural differences threaten to throw Atlantis into a second great calamity. So for this, there's rich lore, new mechanics, 7 new factions, 6 new ancestries, 26 new subclasses, 11 new backgrounds, 24 new magic items, a bestiary, etc, etc, and 20 adventure hooks. So if you're looking for a new setting for 5e, this one £11 for PDF and £18 for the print version. Then also in the new section, we've got Archelon Chronicles, a science fiction tabletop RPG, a new traditional tabletop RPG set in a colourful universe of technology and magic. Archelon is a world of progress, heroes, and incredible diversity. Following the discovery of an old alien ruin in the northern wastes of the north, technology has jumped hundreds of years into the future in a very short time frame. The RPG is cooperative storytelling in which the GM acts as the narrator. And the rules use 20-sided dice to resolve conflicts. And this one is £12 for the PDF in digital format, and it's £21 for the, or £21 gets you more digital community content, but it's £44 if you want the rulebook in print. And we finish off this week's look at the new Kickstarters with Adventure Builder, a family role-playing game. This one has a 52-page handbook, 12-page equipment shop, 10 printed character sheets, 144 trait tokens, some character tokens, 94 encounter, creature, coin and story cards, and 5 dice. It's a game of adventure and imagination, and is a perfect game for kids and families to get started with role-playing games. It says it's easy for parents and kids to quickly dive into the fantasy role-playing experience. Simple and exciting character progression, an entire city to explore. So if you're looking for a new game to play with the family, then maybe this one is right up your street. So that's it for this week. Those are the new and the ending Kickstarters, and I'll be back again next week. And if you've got any comments, what you think about this, then do let me know in the comments of the YouTube. Send me a email at dragonsarealpodcast@pm.me, or get in touch on social media. Thank you all for watching and listening.